Atlanta is ablaze tonight, and the digital world cannot stop buzzing. Reports have surfaced that Kirk Frost has been exposed in a hidden romance, and the impact is rattling the city to its foundation. Whispers say the revelation is not just a rumor, but a carefully documented scandal. Secret encounters, late-night exchanges, and shadowy meetings are already making their way online. Fans are stunned. The love and hip-hop ATL community is reeling. Rasheeda and Jasmine have reportedly uncovered the truth in the most jaw-dropping way possible, sending shockwaves through every corner of Atlanta's reality scene. The question is no longer if it happened, but how deep the deception truly runs. Social media has ignited with memes, debates, and fiery reactions. What comes next could tear apart ATL's most powerful couples. The city is on edge, and the drama is only just beginning. Rumors had been swirling in Atlanta for weeks, but now the whispers have exploded into full-blown allegations. Kirk Frost, a man long considered a cornerstone of the love and hip-hop ATL universe, is being accused of carrying on a clandestine affair. At first, fans brushed off the gossip as wild speculation, but soon the evidence began stacking up, piece by piece, until it became impossible to ignore. The first spark came from late-night messages. Sources say Kirk was sending texts at unusual hours, messages so secretive they raised immediate red flags. Insiders described them as cryptic, full of coded words, emojis, and short responses that suggested he was hiding something from view. When those texts mysteriously vanished from his phone, suspicions only grew stronger. Then came the hotel sighting. Eyewitnesses reported seeing Kirk entering an upscale Atlanta hotel under the cover of darkness. Hours later, he was spotted leaving with a woman who was definitely not Rasheeda. The photos were grainy, the videos shaky, but the implications were undeniable. Fans instantly flooded social media with screenshots, zoomed-in frames, and heated debates about the mystery companion's identity. Online detectives went into overdrive. Every movement, every outfit, every appearance Kirk made was dissected for hidden clues. Old interviews were replayed. Past posts were analyzed. Even past episodes of the reality show were combed through for hints that something wasn't right. The digital jury had already formed its verdict. This was more than idle chatter. Insiders began whispering that Kirk wasn't meeting this woman once or twice. The encounters, they claimed, had become a pattern. Repeated late-night outings, unexplained disappearances, excuses that didn't line up. Those closest to him allegedly noticed subtle changes too. Sudden secrecy, guarded phone calls, quick explanations that didn't match his usual demeanor. All signs pointed to a double life. Fans could not look away. Social media platforms exploded with memes, hashtags, and theories. Some joked that Kirk had written his own downfall. Others insisted the scandal would rewrite ATL reality TV forever. Blurry photos became front-page evidence. Text screenshots were treated like courtroom exhibits. Every detail added to the growing storm, and the whispers only got darker. Sources hinted that this wasn't just a fling, but a carefully hidden affair that had been unfolding for months, maybe longer. With every leak, with every blurred image, the foundation beneath Kirk's public persona began to crumble. The city was buzzing, the community was shaken, and the affair that was once dismissed as rumor had now become the most talked-about scandal in Atlanta. For weeks, Rasheeda had sensed something was wrong. The man she trusted, Kirk Frost, was acting strangely, and the signs were impossible to ignore. Deleted messages, odd late-night phone calls, excuses that didn't quite make sense. At first, she tried to brush it off, convincing herself it was nothing. But deep down, her instincts told her otherwise. Those instincts proved right. Every subtle shift in Kirk's behavior added to her unease. He was distracted at home, quick to step outside when the phone rang, protective of his device in ways he had never been before. Rasheeda, usually calm and composed, found herself spiraling with doubt. She knew the patterns. She recognized the tells. The picture was becoming painfully clear. When she finally confronted him inside their Atlanta home, the tension was unbearable. Insiders claim Rasheeda's voice trembled with anger and heartbreak. She demanded explanations. Why were messages disappearing? Who was on the other end of those calls? Kirk allegedly tried to deflect, but Rasheeda pressed harder. Every denial fueled her suspicion. Every vague answer made her fury grow. Witnesses say the confrontation dragged on for hours. Rasheeda pacing, her voice rising, then breaking. Tears one moment, fury the next. For a woman celebrated for her composure, this was a side fans had rarely seen. She was not just angry. She was devastated. The betrayal cut deep, and the shock of it left her unsteady. Sources close to her revealed that Rasheeda confided in family and trusted friends afterward, desperate for clarity. She wanted answers, proof, anything to confirm what her heart already knew. Panic had set in, not just about her marriage, but about how the entire world might soon see her private life unravel. Rasheeda had always been a symbol of strength, but this scandal had pierced her defenses. The suspicion was no longer suspicion. It was a storm closing in, and she was bracing for impact. The woman who once controlled every detail of her life now faced a truth she could neither escape nor ignore. Jasmine Washington's involvement in the scandal was just as explosive, and perhaps even more dramatic. According to insiders, she didn't stumble across the truth gently. She was blindsided, learning through whispers, leaks, and fragments of evidence that pointed directly to Kirk Frost. The moment the pieces came together, her disbelief turned to fury. At first, Jasmine tried to confirm the allegations quietly. Sources say she combed through screenshots, cryptic texts, and suspicious calls until she could no longer deny what was unfolding. When the reality hit, she allegedly confronted Kirk directly in a private exchange. Insiders claim the confrontation began over FaceTime, where Jasmine's voice was sharp, trembling with emotion. She demanded answers. She wanted the truth. Kirk, caught off guard, tried to stall and shift the narrative, but Jasmine refused to let him off the hook. The intensity of that call was overwhelming. Reports say Jasmine recorded parts of the exchange, preserving his stammered replies and evasions. When snippets leaked online, fans could hear her anger, her frustration, her outrage boiling over. It was raw. It was unfiltered. And it painted Kirk into a corner he could not escape. But the confrontation didn't stop there. Insiders revealed that when Jasmine later met Kirk in person, the argument escalated so quickly that staff nearby had to intervene. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic, filled with shouting, accusations, and emotions so heavy it nearly tipped into violence. Jasmine, known for her bold personality, was reportedly unstoppable in that moment, refusing to back down until she had clarity. Her immediate reaction afterward was equally fierce. Friends say she began gathering every piece of proof she could find, screenshots, recordings, even whispers from mutual acquaintances. She wanted ammunition. She wanted the full story out. While Rasheeda was reeling in shock, Jasmine was preparing for war. The betrayal cut her deeply, but her response was strategic as much as emotional. She wasn't just reacting. She was planning. To Jasmine, this wasn't only about heartbreak. It was about exposure, about ensuring Kirk's secrets wouldn't stay hidden another day. The confrontation marked a turning point, both for her and for the scandal, and the fallout was only beginning. Once the first screenshots appeared online, the internet ignited like wildfire. Blurry hotel clips, leaked messages, and secret audio recordings spread at lightning speed. Fans didn't just watch. They dissected every frame, every emoji, every cryptic phrase. The scandal was no longer private. It had gone fully public. Twitter was the first battlefield. Hashtags like #FreshKirkExposed, /Rasheeda in shock, and Jasmine receipts shot to the top of trending lists nationwide. Users argued, speculated, and created threads longer than novels. Some defended Kirk, while others ripped apart his reputation in real time. The platform became a courtroom, and fans became the jury. TikTok wasn't far behind. Creators uploaded reaction videos, dramatic reenactments, and even parodies that mocked Kirk's alleged behavior. Some posts reached millions of views in hours, turning the affair into viral entertainment. Duets and stitches fueled the fire, with people reenacting leaked texts word for word. The drama transformed into a cultural phenomenon. Meanwhile, Reddit threads went deep. Amateur detectives cross-referenced old interviews, past episodes, and Kirk's own social media posts. They matched timelines, compared outfits, and analyzed inconsistencies. Fans were connecting dots that insiders had only whispered about. To them, every small clue was another nail in Kirk's coffin. Memes flooded Instagram. Some mocked Kirk as reality TV's latest villain. Others celebrated Rasheeda and Jasmine as icons of resilience. Every photo, caption, and story became part of the narrative. Gossip pages couldn't keep up. The content was endless. And then came YouTube. Commentary channels uploaded hour-long breakdowns, pausing each leaked screenshot, zooming in, and analyzing every line. Some creators claimed inside knowledge, while others fueled speculation with theories of cover-ups and alliances. Engagement skyrocketed. Views climbed into the millions. Fans hung on every update. The frenzy reached a point where even celebrities outside of Atlanta weighed in. Radio hosts, bloggers, and podcasters debated the scandal like it was breaking news. Some joked, some sympathized, but everyone had an opinion. The chaos wasn't confined to ATL anymore. It had gone national. By this stage, Kirk's alleged affair wasn't just a scandal. It was a storyline consuming the internet. The leaks, the hashtags, the memes, they all became evidence in the court of public opinion. And the verdict from fans was brutal. Atlanta wasn't just talking. The whole world was watching. Behind the curtain of this scandal, whispers suggest Kirk, Rasheeda, and Jasmine are not the only ones entangled. Insiders hint that other love and hip-hop ATL personalities may have played a role, whether by keeping secrets, feeding gossip, or aligning with one side over another. The cast, long known for alliances and rivalries, suddenly looked less like colleagues and more like accomplices in a larger drama. Reports claim some figures close to Kirk knew about his late-night escapades long before the public did. They allegedly stayed silent, choosing loyalty or personal gain over honesty. Others are said to have warned Rasheeda in cryptic ways, hinting at betrayal without daring to name names. These half-truths only deepened the atmosphere of paranoia. Meanwhile, Jasmine was reportedly not acting alone. Sources say a quiet circle of confidants encouraged her to press forward, even fueling the leak of certain messages. Whether out of support, revenge, or ambition, their involvement magnified the scandal and ensured it could not be contained. The wider cast also found themselves dragged into the storm. Some rushed to social media, posting vague comments that fans instantly linked to the scandal. Others remained silent, which only added to speculation about where their loyalties truly stood. Every emoji, every cryptic post became fuel for conspiracy theories. And now, rumors suggest this may just be the beginning. The scandal has opened old wounds, revisited forgotten feuds, and raised questions about who else in Atlanta's tight-knit circle might be hiding explosive secrets. Insiders warn the fallout could expand far beyond Kirk, Rasheeda, and Jasmine. The alliances are shifting. The cast is divided, and the city waits to see who will be exposed next. The scandal reached a boiling point when whispers of a leaked video surfaced. At first, it was dismissed as another rumor in a storm of speculation. But then grainy footage began to circulate. A man who looked strikingly like Kirk was seen entering a hotel room late at night. The clip was short, blurry, and shaky, yet the resemblance was undeniable. Online sleuths immediately froze the frames. They compared timestamps, clothing, and background details with Kirk's known appearances. Shockingly, the timelines lined up almost perfectly. The night in question matched earlier sightings reported by insiders. The puzzle pieces began to click together, and what once felt like gossip was now looking like hard evidence. But the situation escalated even further. Allegations of an explicit clip began spreading across social media. Some claimed they had seen it, others insisted it was still hidden in private group chats. The very idea that such footage existed changed everything. Fans no longer argued about whether the affair was real. The conversation shifted to just how deep the betrayal had gone. When snippets allegedly leaked in small circles, the internet's reaction was immediate and brutal. Commentary channels dissected every second. Reaction videos exploded across TikTok and YouTube. Memes mocked the situation, But many viewers expressed genuine shock and outrage. The scandal was no longer just about suspicion. It had crossed into undeniable territory. The timeline became a weapon. Fans lined up the hotel clip, the alleged explicit footage, and past reports of Kirk's whereabouts. Each detail reinforced the narrative of guilt. What had once been dismissed as gossip now appeared to be a carefully documented sequence of events. Public perception shifted overnight. Kirk went from being accused to being condemned. Rasheeda was painted as the wounded heroine, Jasmine, the firebrand exposing the truth, and Kirk, the man at the center, was cornered by evidence too overwhelming to ignore. The scandal wasn't just escalating, it was exploding. Every new leak felt like a nail in the coffin of Kirk's reputation. And with the internet in control of the story, there was no turning back. The evidence was out there, and the world had already made up its mind. The scandal burst into public view at a high-profile Atlanta event, where tensions finally snapped. Cameras were rolling. The crowd was buzzing. And then it happened. Jasmine Washington confronted Kirk Frost in front of everyone. Her voice cut through the noise, sharp and unrelenting. She accused him not only of betrayal but of using lavish gifts and expensive trips as cover-ups for his double life. Jewelry, vacations, designer bags, all framed as evidence of guilt, not generosity. The room froze as she laid it out. This wasn't just personal, it was financial. She claimed money meant for family stability had been funneled into distractions for her silence. Kirk tried to deflect, but Jasmine pressed harder. Every word was louder, every accusation more biting. Onlookers gasped. Phones were lifted high to record. This was no longer a private scandal. It was a live spectacle, playing out in real time before fans and cast alike. The confrontation spiraled quickly. Reports say security had to step in, forming a wall between the two as voices rose and chaos threatened to erupt. Witnesses described the scene as explosive, raw, and unforgettable. It wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It was about manipulation, about power, about money spent to bury secrets that refused to stay hidden. For Rasheeda, who stood nearby, the humiliation was unbearable. To hear the financial allegations laid out so publicly was another knife to the heart. Jasmine's claims didn't just target Kirk's character. They struck at his credibility, his image, and his livelihood. By the time security escorted them apart, the damage was irreversible. Clips of the altercation hit social media within minutes, going viral before the night even ended. The public had witnessed every second of the meltdown, and there was no way to rewrite the story. The event, meant to celebrate Atlanta's stars, had instead cemented Kirk Frost as the city's most scandalized figure. The betrayal was out. The receipts were public, and the fallout was only just beginning. The fallout from the confrontation spread like wildfire across Atlanta and beyond. Cast members were forced to pick sides, and the divide was immediate. Some rallied behind Rasheeda, offering sympathy and vocal support. Others quietly aligned with Jasmine, seeing her as the one brave enough to expose Kirk. The show's tight-knit circle was fractured, and the tension was impossible to ignore. Radio stations and gossip blogs couldn't get enough. Morning shows dissected the scandal on air, while bloggers released headline after headline, each more dramatic than the last. Every interview, every soundbite added fuel to the chaos. The story had outgrown the cast. It was now an industry-wide spectacle. Behind the scenes, producers applied pressure. They demanded transparency, urging cast members to address the drama on camera. The scandal, though devastating, was also ratings gold. Meetings were tense. Contracts were whispered about. The possibility of reshaping entire storylines became very real. Legal moves were also hinted at. Insiders claimed attorneys were consulted about defamation, financial disputes, and even potential breaches of agreement. The scandal wasn't just emotional, it was business, with reputations and fortunes hanging in the balance. And yet, amid the turmoil, one fact was clear. This was only the beginning. The alliances forming now would shape future episodes in ways no one could predict. Fans braced themselves for the next wave of revelations. The cameras were ready. The cast was divided. And the industry watched, knowing that Love and Hip Hop ATL had just entered a new era of scandal. But just when the storm seemed unbearable, whispers of a hidden confession shook the narrative once more. Insiders claim an unseen recording exists, a tape where Kirk allegedly admits far more than the public has heard. If that evidence emerges, the scandal could explode to a level no one imagined. The question now, who has the tape? And when will it surface? Fans are already speculating, dissecting every clue, every post, every cryptic message. The suspense is unbearable. The story isn't over, it's only evolving. So what do you think? Is the confession real? Could it flip the entire narrative upside down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let your voice be heard. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next revelation could break at any moment, and you'll want to be here first when it does. The world of Love and Hip Hop ATL is trembling. Alliances are shifting, friendships are fracturing, and a single leak could destroy everything. The cliffhanger remains unsolved. The city waits. And the next chapter promises to be darker, louder, and more chaotic than ever before.